Hello again. Well, if you watched our Easter video of our motorhome trip away, you might remember we had some problems with a leaking hot water tap. So I went on eBay and I found this, which I ordered. There we go. Looks alright, doesn't it? Well, there's obviously been some sort of mix-up because this is what's turned up. Got this. Hose thing and this which yeah, look at that. I don't really know what this is. It's obviously, well, this connects onto here and you can obviously squeeze this handle to operate this valve here, and I'm guessing that's some sort of spray head. So yeah, maybe that's the sort of thing you have in a pub or something for rinsing things down. I don't know. If you know what it is, let me know. But it's not really what I wanted for a tap on my sink, really. Well, Mr. James, let's go and get something a bit more suitable. Well, I thought I'd give eBay a rest for a while. It's obviously not working for me, so we've been to Wickes and I've bought a ordinary sort of a tap. Now, I know what you're thinking. You'll be saying, Alex, what about your payload? Isn't this going to be much heavier than the tap that's already fitted, the special caravan tap? And, well, yes it is. It's a fairly hefty bit of brass, but I think what we'll probably do is, we don't often use this draining board cover affair, so I'll probably take that off because it won't, obviously the new tap won't flip up, so I'll take that off, and that'll save the weight that's made up by the new brass tap. Obviously this is a proper caravan tap that weighs virtually nothing. But anyway, that's what we're going to do. So I think this is going to be more of a temporary fix. I think over the winter maybe we'll replace this whole worktop, because obviously it's blown quite badly where it got wet under the tap. Let's clear the sink out. Nikki's found us a washing bowl that fits in the sink. Look at that, look. Very swish. And this is like a little fold up draining kind of thing, which I don't know, just stops things draining. The first thing to do is to take the cutlery drawer out, stow that over here somewhere, and then, oh blimey, more tea towels. Take all this stuff out, stow that over there. Blimey, I'm going short of tea towels. Now I'm going to take the sink out again. I've got my little stubby screwdriver out of the boot of the car, because that'll make this job a little bit easier. So the first thing to do is to unscrew these little clips here that hold the sink into the worktop. So, well, with them all unscrewed, this should just lift out. There we go. Stow that down here somewhere. Of course, I think there should be a Jubilee clip around here holding the waste pipe on, so you'd probably have to undo that if it was put in properly. Right, and then just unscrew the old tap. Then it's going to be a case of undoing these Jubilee clips. see now the extent of damage to the worktop. This bit's swollen up here, and obviously this is all rather nasty under here. This MDF stuff, I don't know really why anybody uses it in kitchens and bathrooms and the like. It's sort of the worst possible material. It's like making a kitchen out of dried sponge, really. But I suppose it's cheap. It's not particularly lightweight, but it is cheap, and it does machine really easily. I suppose that's the benefit. But yeah, horrible stuff really. You might have noticed this just fell out of the cold tap. That was just fell out. But I think it was the hot that was leaking. The whole tap, I think, may have been leaking around there as well by the look of it. It's a bit crusty and horrible really. Quite glad to see the back of this. You can see it's got wires on it if you had it on a micro switch system, which we haven't. Ours is just pressurised. So anyway, I think that's junk. Don't really like that. So the next thing I've done is I've picked off a lot of this loose fluffy stuff, which is not doing anything really. Once the water's got in it, it's no good. So all that can really come off without any ill effects. It's not doing anything, it's all rubbish really. So that's just going to continue to fluff up and drop down underneath the sink if I don't get rid of it. So before I go too much further, just a little mock-up of how our new tap will look, just so I know I'm not wasting my time and it's going to fit. So yeah, that should be fine, doesn't interfere with the blinds too much. I think that's all good. So I've got a hole saw here that's a pretty good match to just clear those two holes with a bit of space for the nuts that go up onto the tap. So I'll now drill the hole to mount the tap. Now obviously my new tap isn't going to cover this hole that was cut in for the previous tap, so I'll need some sort of cover plate to put over there. Well, I've got plenty of this 3mm ply from when Nikki redid the cushions, so I reckon this will make a good temporary, at least, base for the tap. Right, well, I'm going to have a bit of a measure up, but I'm going to drop the sink at least temporarily back in the hole so I can see where it comes to. There we go. So this strip actually about the right width already, which is great. So that'll go along there nicely. And I reckon if I cut it off somewhere about there-ish, and I'll make a couple of pencil marks on the worktop here. Oh, the pencil's just snapped. Oh. Oh well. I'll still make a couple of marks, I think, just about. I'll just make one. There we go, where that's going to go. And I can mark the centre of that hole so I can drill that in the right place. Right, just trim this off. Okay, so I'm going to line this up against my mark there. sure it's reasonably square to the edge. And then I'm going to mark round that hole I drilled earlier. I can try and accurately position the centre. Yeah, so that's not really very central, is it? But yeah, I'm reasonably happy with that, to be honest. Maybe I'll move it slightly over. Yeah, so in actual fact, that's our mark there. So now I'm going to just fairly approximately get the centre of that. So that is, what, 32, so that's 16, so about there. That is pretty much the centre of the hole I need to drill. Okay, well this is the same size hole saw that we used the other day to cut the hole in the motorhome worktop. So yeah, there we go. Now I'm just going to mark for holes in each corner to fix. I think I'm going to go 10mm in each way. So. There we go. Now I'm just going to round the corners off a little bit. There we go. So now I'm going to drill the holes for these screws. There we go. And a little bit of sandpaper just to finish it off and to get rid of these pencil marks as well. Now it's important, of course, that any wood you use somewhere it might get damp is treated. So since it's Easter time, I brought this little bit inside and given it this small chocolate egg. There you go. But just in case that doesn't completely do the trick, I'm going to give it a couple of coats of this quick drying varnish. This is only an interior varnish. It's a water-based varnish, so it's not really going to be that good at resisting any water leaks, but I am only viewing this as a temporary job, so I think it'll certainly last until the winter when we can maybe replace that whole worktop. Just wait and see. You'll still be seeing me doing motorhome videos in a couple of years and this will still be in place, no doubt. But that's my intention. We shall see what happens. Well, I've got my trusty battery drill here. I'm just going to drill a couple of small, well, 4 small pilot holes for these drills. Just lining up this hole here with the hole I drilled earlier in the worktop. These back ones are going to be a little bit of an angle, but that doesn't matter because all I've really got to do is get a start on the screw and I can straighten them up, I think. Right, now I did think I might use some silicone on here to seal it, stop any water creeping underneath. But of course, all the tubes that I've got in the garage are ancient and have gone solid, as does tend to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use some Motorhome, which I think will work. You just need to have a bit of a seal to stop anything finding its way under there. So I think a bit of this will actually do the trick. So let me know if you think this is a stupid thing to do, or if I think it'll work. After all, we're not going to get this area soaking, hopefully. Because if our tap doesn't leak, then it's well back from the sink area. So I think that will work. What you should always do, of course, is have some sort of rag. I'm going to use this box to wipe my finger on. Not going to use one of Nicky's tea towels. Get shot for that. Right. So that, if I put one of the little screws, get myself a start on that. Let's locate one of those corners. That's my first corner. Get all these screws started a little bit. Of course, this plier's got to bend around the shape of that swollen up MDF worktop, so there we go. Remember, this isn't supposed to be top class joinery. This is a temporary fix to get us hot and cold water for this weekend. And we're going away with the granddaughter, so I'm not too worried about it looking absolutely polished. We'll sort that out later. So there we go, that plier's had to take quite a bit of a curve on to get over this swollen up bit of worktop. Tell you what, it's quite warm in here. Oh. Right, there we go. Well, this is where you've got to get things really in the right order. I'm going to feed these up first from below. Because I won't get both those nuts through this hole at the same time. So I'm going to turn... No, I'm not. I nearly made a mistake there. I'm going to put this ring through next. Get it right. I'll screw this one on. Make sure that's nice and firm. And this one, it's got little rubber O-rings in them. There's some spare O-rings in the packet, so make sure we keep them somewhere safe. There we go. They're both nice and tight. That's going to this on there like that. Right, next we have this little clip to hold it all on. Now this is going to be a little fiddly, I suspect, with the space we've got to work in. Nevertheless, it's got to be done. So let's give it a try. Right, well, obviously this goes through. You've got to wind this down first. Got a little thread in there to the screwdriver head there to fix that too, and that wraps around your two hoses and should screw into the bottom of our tap. This is where it all gets rather fiddly. Is it in there? No, it's not in there. Look. Ah. Where's the hole? There somewhere. Have a look. Oh, it's at the front. So, that's no good, is it? Got to do it that way round. So it pays to look at that sort of thing before you start, really. Otherwise, you end up looking an idiot like I just did. Okay. So it makes sense it's at the front really, because then you can get to it. On the other hand, why won't that fit in there? Ah! So look, that's how it's supposed to go. I'm supposed to find that little hole there. There you go. That's what's supposed to happen. Right, so all we've got to do really is do that from below. That goes around there, it's up through there, and there's the hole. Blimey, have I done it? Have I cracked it? I think I have. Right, let's wind this brass bit up a little bit. So my problem is I'm never going to get my screwdriver in there. So I'm going to tighten that up by hand a bit. Got a bit of a bite on there now. And then tighten that up by hand as I can. And I'm going to get my little adjustable on it and give it a bit of a nip up. I see that's not really bearing on an awful lot because everything's rotten as a pear, but it will get a grip. Well, certainly enough of a grip to hold that tap in place. Yeah, we're getting there. Let's make sure my tap's straight, or certainly as straight as my eye. Get it? There you go. I think that's pretty good. Right, what would be good to have, of course, was some hose barbs, but in the bathroom area I managed to get this 15mm copper pipe to fit down inside the hose using some hot water, so I'm hoping I can soften them up and use this 15mm copper pipe. So I'm just going to divide that into two using my pipe slice. Not exactly that easy when you've got a short little bit like that. There we go. So these will be my hose barbs. Ah, well, I've actually found myself up at Valida Pneumatics in Cambridge for work, picking up some bits and pieces to connect up a freeze dryer to a chilled water supply. But while I'm here, I asked them, and they've actually got some 15mm copper to 1/2 inch hose barbs that connecting to this little nifty fitting here straight onto the 15mm copper. So that I think will be a better solution than trying to clip straight onto that 15mm copper. So yeah, they're not sponsoring this or anything. They don't really know that I'm recommending them, but they always seem to manage to sort me out when I've got weird things to connect to other weird things. Not that hose is that weird, but this stuff is American NPT thread, which I need to get onto a BSP hose system. So they managed to sort that out for me, which is a bit weird. Well, not weird if you live in America, I suppose, but certainly weird here in the UK and Europe. So excellent. I don't think I'll need those couplers or the copper now. I can just go straight onto the tap connectors with these hose tails. Perfect. Now, someone suggested on the water pump video we did that I was winding the PTFE tape on the thread the wrong way. And I think they were right. I guess what you really need to do is wind the tape up the thread so that as you screw it in, that you're pushing the tape that way to tighten it up. So let's do that this time. Right, so let's get these in then. There we go. Right, cold side. And hot side. There we go, and I think they'll sit quite happily there behind the sink. A little bit snaky, but be fine, I think. Well, what I want to do now is test this before I put the sink back in, so I can fix any leaks without having to take the sink back out again. So I'm going to make sure all the taps are off. I'm going to put some water in the tank, and then we're going to run some through into a washing up bowl or something. And then close the taps up again, get rid of all the air, close the taps up again, and leave our pump on. And the giveaway with the pressurised system is that if there's a leak, then the pump will occasionally fire for a little while, and that's what we were noticing those first couple of days at Hereford. Obviously it was coming down the back there. So that's what we're going to do next. I'll tell you, well, I've got about 6 full watering cans in the tank. I made sure all the taps are closed. So let's fire the pump up and see what happens. The pump's running. Wait for that to build up some pressure. Make sure there's no disasters unfolding in the bathroom. Maybe get some of the air out while we're at it. Takes a bit of time to get the air out the hot water side. Comes out quicker out the cold water side. There we go. The cold water for you. It's gurgling. Close that and let it build up some pressure. Chuck this out the back. Oh, by the way, Nicky's new silicone fold-up washing up bowl. As well as the round one. 2 washing up bowls. 1 van, 2 washing up bowls. Right, the pump's slowing down. It's a good sign. Soon, hopefully it'll stop. There we go, pump stopped. Get the rest of that air out. It's all right there. Pump stopped again. Get the air out of the bathroom. Right, so I reckon now we have no air in either system, or no air to speak of. So that pump should stop. Pump stopped, and we shouldn't hear it restart. Now, a while ago I made this cracking purchase of a big selection bag of Jubilee clips. Can't say fairer than that really, can you? So somewhere in here I think will be the right size Jubilee clip. Woo! Drop that for our waste pipe. Possibly one of these. Oh yeah, that's cracking, like just the right size. Right, let's get that sink waste on and tightened up. Well, that wasn't the easiest thing to do, but I think you can see it's on there all right. Now it's just a matter of clipping the sink back on with these clips. And you can see the one at the back here has the earth wire on, so just make sure that's connected properly. Yeah, just get them started, don't do them up tight, otherwise you'll never get the others in. Well, there you go, there's really no room for error there. That cutout is exactly the same size as the little clips that take the screws, so just get it exactly the right place. Well, there we go, running water again. The leak cured. It's a temporary fix. We will need to sort that worktop out at some point. No urgency though, it's perfectly serviceable I think. So I'm going to call that a success. Well, that's all for now. If you enjoyed it, press like, subscribe if you want to see some more, and ring the bell to be notified when we upload something new.